Under a torrential downpour, amidst a crowd of indifferent passers-by, a ragged beggar, Daniel, huddles in the cold corner of the street as if all hope had abandoned him. But then, a question slices through the darkness like a blade. Have you ever given anything? From empty hands, what miracle did he conjure to transform into someone the whole world would turn to look at? This story won't just leave you stunned. It will ignite a spark of change within you. Listen to the end, and if you're ready to turn your life into a journey worth living, subscribe to the channel now. Each video is a step toward discovering that strength. The power of change. Daniel's journey from empty hands to a life of purpose. At a bustling train station in the heart of the city, a man lived quietly amidst the rush of passing trains. His name was Daniel, a simple name much like the man himself, now reduced to a mere shadow of a beggar. Day after day, Daniel stretched out his calloused hands, pleading for a few coins or a scrap of bread from indifferent travelers. His life was a monotonous cycle where hope had faded like a dim lantern in the morning mist. But then, one day, everything shifted. As Daniel timidly reached out toward a tall, impeccably dressed man stepping off a train, the stranger paused. This was Victor, a successful businessman with a sharp gaze and an air of unshakable confidence. Victor didn't reach for his wallet, nor did he wave Daniel away in annoyance. Instead, he locked eyes with him, a piercing, soul-searching stare, and asked a question Daniel had never considered. Have you ever given anything to anyone? The words struck like a blade, cold yet awakening. Daniel let out a dreary, raspy chuckle. I'm a beggar. What could I possibly give? All I know is how to ask. Victor shook his head, his expression devoid of pity. If you have nothing to offer, then you have no right to take. With that, he boarded the train and disappeared, leaving Daniel alone amidst the bustling crowd, those words echoing in his mind like an unrelenting bell. For the first time, shame crept into Daniel's heart, not for his poverty, but for a stark truth. He hadn't been living, only surviving. Yet beneath that shame, a tiny ember flickered, a yearning for change, a glimmer of possibility. The quest for meaning. That night, sleep evaded Daniel. Victor's question haunted him like a relentless ghost. Could it be that I received so little because I've never given anything back? But what could someone like me with nothing possibly share? 2 days passed, heavy with restless thought. Daniel sat by the roadside, watching life rush past, his heart as empty as his hands. On the third day, his aimless gaze fell upon wildflowers growing near the station, small, unassuming, yet vibrant against the grime. A spark ignited within him, bright as a lightning flash. If I have no money, no possessions, then at least I can give this small piece of beauty. The next morning, Daniel stepped into the day with a strange new resolve. When a coin dropped into his palm, he didn't bow his head and mutter as before. Instead, he looked up, offered a hesitant smile, awkward but genuine, and placed a flower into the giver's hand. At first, they froze, bewildered. A beggar like Daniel giving a gift? But then their eyes lit up, smiles bloomed in return, and something miraculous unfolded. More people stopped, more gave, not merely out of pity, but because they received something in exchange. Not wealth, but a connection, a fleeting warmth in a cold world. Daniel was no longer a forgotten silhouette, from begging hands to giving hands. As time passed, Daniel uncovered a simple yet profound truth. When he had flowers, people gave more willingly. When the flowers ran out, kindness dried up too. With the few coins he collected, Daniel began to save, buying more flowers and tying them into delicate little bouquets. He stopped begging, he traded. From a beggar, Daniel became a bringer of beauty, however humble those blossoms might be. One day, as he tended to his modest stall, a familiar voice cut through the clatter of the trains. It seems you've become a true businessman now, haven't you? Daniel looked up. It was Victor. With a radiant smile, he handed Victor a bouquet. This one's my gift to you. Victor laughed, a warm, hearty sound, accepting the flowers with a kind gaze. Now you understand. You only receive when you give. Daniel's rebirth. 6 months later, a well-dressed man boarded a train, a suitcase brimming with grand dreams in tow. It was Daniel, no longer the beggar of old. Across from him, another passenger smiled and extended a hand. "Pardon me, but have we met before?" Daniel grinned, his voice steady and rich with pride. "Oh, we have. You just didn't notice me back then, sitting by the tracks, holding a few flowers in my hands." Daniel hadn't merely changed his circumstances. He had forged himself anew, transforming an empty soul into a life bursting with purpose. Lessons etched in the heart. Giving doesn't require riches, only a heart that creates value. Change your perspective, and your life will follow suit. The world doesn't hand out favors to those who only take. It honors those who dare to give. So what will you give today to make your life bloom?